Now, let's talk Garuda, Death's Crimson Maiden. Curiously, after last night's dev short, it sounds like Garuda might finally be getting some real attention. Definitely getting some lore, maybe a touch-up, maybe something bigger, and if that turns out to be true, then honestly, it's about feckin' time. Hey, what's up, you beautiful feckers? How you all doing? So, the latest dev short had Rebecca saying it's time to talk about Garuda. Not just in passing, not as some kind of random side comment, but in a way that felt a little bit more deliberate, like they were setting the stage for something. And normally, when they talk about adding something to an existing frame, it comes along with some kind of a rework or some kind of a touch-up. So hopefully that's the case here. Now, we know that Garuda is going to have her lore talked about on the next dev stream, but she has always been one of those frames that has had a very strong identity but no real story built around her. She's got an awesome theme: blood, gore, elegance, brutality, and she feels like a Warframe that was built to terrify everything standing in front of her, but when it comes down to proper backstory, she doesn't really have one, similar to some other frames in the game as well. Right now, Garuda's lore is more about what she represents than what we actually know. She's cold, she's deliberate, she's vicious. She's not exactly Valkyrie screaming her way through rooms. Garuda is more precise, like every bit of violence is part of her performance. And the only actual breadcrumb of lore that we have about her for years is her connection to Orvalis and Fortuna, with her blueprint being tied to that content and of course the bounties there as well. So when Rebecca says that they're going to talk about Garuda's lore on the next dev stream, it opens up a few possibilities. Maybe it's finally an expansion of her old backstory and we're going to learn more about that. Maybe it's a fresh lore segment that is Lavarian styled, or like I said, maybe Garuda is tied directly into this unannounced update and the story we're going to be following for that will have her directly embedded in it. But look, whatever it is, we're going to have to wait until the dev stream at the end of this month to find out. Now, to be fair, Rebecca clearly likes Garuda as a Warframe. She mentioned having a Garuda poster on her wall for the last 7 years, and she's got that very obvious love for anything vaguely vampire-esque. So maybe this is finally that moment where Garuda is going to get a little bit more love on the lore side, on the story side. Now, this dev stream is happening on the 24th of April. It is dev stream 195, and it's going to be at 2 PM Eastern Time. And that stream is also going to be the one where they fully reveal what this next update is going to be before TennoCon. Now, that April dev stream is also set to cover the Dante Deluxe skin, the Garuda lore I've mentioned, the TennoCon digital pack, and honestly, Dante Deluxe alone looks like he's got everyone's attention because it looks feckin' amazing. It's got that owl meets kind of Raven Lord design going on, and it looks like one of those deluxe skins that's already an instant hit. Now, on top of that, the upcoming update is also going to show, I guess, the 5 new Incarnon weapons, which will have the Incarnon Vectis, the Stug, the Ballistica, the Obex, and the Destreza. And the Stug especially is one of the weapons that has all of us wondering what the feck they're going to do with it, because if that thing somehow turns out to be genuinely good or a bit of a beast from Incarnon form, then the memes it's going to generate will be worth it alone. Now, this dev stream is also going to have Twitch drops, so make sure and tune into those because you'll get a chance to get a fully built Omniforma, as well as one of the Tau-Forged Archon shards, either a Crimson, Azure, or Amber. All you have to do is watch for 30 minutes for each segment, so 30 minutes for the Omniforma and 30 minutes for the Tau-Forged Archon shard, and then you can claim it in Twitch's inventory. So even if you're only half interested in what the reveals are going to be on the next dev stream, it's still worth it to watch the stream even in the background to get those drops. Just make sure you have your Twitch and your Warframe account linked. Now, another topic that they brought up on the dev short, and one that's been brought up on pretty much every video that I've seen about Veruna, and I guess her release for Veruna Prime, is the idea of her portability maybe becoming an exalted weapon at some point. And they did mention on the dev short last night that it is something that they have discussed right up until Veruna Prime was released, and it is still a topic that they haven't closed the door on. So it's not confirmed, but it also hasn't been thrown in the bin yet, and it is still something that sounds like it's on the table for them. They just need to have a proper discussion around it. And honestly, I get why people keep asking for it. Ulfrin's Descent already looks and feels like it should be a proper exalted claw stance, and it has a lot of power to it, but it doesn't have the ability to mod the claws, whereas other Warframes have that ability. And right now, it seems like the most popular ability to subsume off of your Veruna is actually her Ulfrin's Descent, which shouldn't be the case since they've now given her the ability to run on all fours. So right now, Veruna's portability is either the coolest part of her kit or it is the easiest thing for you to replace with a subsume, depending on how you want to build your Veruna Prime, and that's kind of the problem that they have right now. Now at the same time, I can see why DE might be a little bit hesitant to fully commit to an exalted weapon on this frame, because maybe the scaling might be a little bit too aggressive, maybe it might be a little bit too powerful, so they have to actually debate whether or not that fort needs the help, because a lot of people agree in the community that it does need the help. It's more about what kind of help it should get. Should it get a fully exalted rework, or should it just get maybe a little bit better scaling, a smarter buffs to it, or maybe even some kind of proper quality of life changes? Let me know in the comment section below how you feel or where you stand on Veruna Prime or Veruna getting an exalted claw setup. Now, they also mentioned a topic that a lot of Warframe players have been talking about for quite some time, and that is Relics and Warframe 1999. Because right now, people want to be able to crack Relics in 99, and they kind of can't. And the more disconnected 99 feels from the main progression loop, the more, I guess, it feels like its very own little island. But letting players run Relics in 1999 would solve a large part of that problem. Now, DE have said that it is something that they want to do, it is something that they want to add, and that they've openly spoken about, but it's not something that they can easily add overnight, and it's something that they actually need time to implement. But it is currently on their radar, there is just no timeline for it yet. Now, there was also a little kind of weird extra thing doing the rounds within the Warframe community on the forums and on Reddit as well, and that is this, which is the Hunulus ephemera. Apparently, it can be searched in-game through chat, but it's not actually implemented into the game right now. Right now, it is just sitting there for you to, I guess, try on to your other little Warframes, and it is quite big and bulky looking in terms of ephemeras. If you're someone who does Captura and Fashion Frame, then you probably already have an idea of what sort of frames you might stick this on. But it basically, the description says, it emulates the Colossus of Hull and serves as a reminder of the Tenno's past conflicts. And visually, it's just a massive sentient-inspired shoulder ephemera that looks like it's been ripped straight out of Parita. Now, whether it ends up being tied to TennoCon for this year or something else entirely, we'll have to wait and see. But it definitely caught people's attention because it has got that sentient vibe to it and the old war. So maybe it is something Tau related. Maybe it is something that's going to be attached to a TennoCon, I guess, accessory this year. Now, to bring the video to a close with a little bit of Soulframe news. Soulframe's Preludes 14 is hopefully, we're told, going to ship this week. And this is the one that is going to be pirate themed, which I guess sailing on the ocean, but also a new fable. There is a new duelist pact, I believe, with rapiers. There's a new siege, new enemies, new weapons, and so on. So if you're someone who's been keeping an eye on Soulframe while waiting for more Warframe updates as well, and jumping in between both of those games, then there's something new hopefully arriving in-game this week. Nothing on console yet, so don't ask that. Let's be honest, the biggest takeaway from this for me is Garuda, because hopefully we're going to get some kind of a reveal, not just about her lore, but maybe a possible rework as well. So yeah, April the 24th is the day of the next Devstream 195. Make sure and stay tuned for that. For the drops alone, just to get that Tau Forged and that Omni Forma, the Garuda lore, the Dante Deluxe, the TennoCon Digital Pack, 5 new incarnations, our first proper look at the next Warframe update before TennoCon, which means it's going to be a very busy Devstream with plenty of content. Like I said, let me know what you think in the comment section below of all of the Garuda stuff. Have a great day, have a great week, and as always, thanks for watching.